everyone, my name's Calvin and welcome back to another watercolor tutorial for Procreate. This is going to be a technical tutorial. I'm going to show you how to move an illustration from one watercolor texture and into a different watercolor texture. So in this specific example, I have the St. Petersburg watercolor texture, and I'm already sort of working on an illustration here, but I don't want to use the St. Petersburg anymore. I want to move this to a different texture. So if I go to my gallery page, I have another texture over here, the storybook texture. So I want to move the illustration that I'm working on in here over into the storybook texture. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that the artboards have the same orientation. So in this case, they're both vertical. So you wouldn't want the artboard to be sideways like that. So make sure the artboard, both of them, are the same orientation. And then also, this is the one I want to move it into. I'm going to go ahead and just turn off the artwork I have in there already. Now I'm going to go back to my gallery page and I'm going to go back into my current project. And I have to make a tough decision because you can't export all the layers. You know, you could one at a time, but it's going to take some time. So you might actually be able to look at your illustration and see, you know, which part of it you're still working on. And the rest of it, you don't mind if it's all compressed onto one layer. So in this case, I have this banana leaf in the background. So I'm still working on that. So what I'm going to do is just turn it off for now. So I have all these elements, and when I move these, they're going to be compressed onto one layer, just as if you had merged them, but you don't have to do that here. It'll happen automatically with this process. So after you've turned off the one that you want to keep working on, go ahead and turn off the texture. And then also go ahead and turn off the background. And then also, this is easy to forget, but I actually still have my sketch turned on too. So it's important to turn everything off that you don't want to get squished together onto one layer. So it'll look pretty weird. It'll look like this because you turned off the background and the texture. It's just showing you the transparency there. Now go over to the wrench icon and click on Copy Canvas. Now if I go back to my gallery page, I can go to the storybook texture, and if I go to the wrench again, I can click on Paste, and this will paste in that layer. Now this is what I meant about, you know, having to make some tough choices, because by doing that, I've actually compressed them onto one layer now, whereas before they were on several layers. So that's why you sort of have to plan ahead. So since I'm still working on the banana leaf, I didn't want it to get incorporated in this flattened layer here, so that's why I turned it off. So next I'm going to transfer the banana leaf, and I'm going to do that separately. So I'm going to go back to this. Everything is still switched off, and I'm going to go ahead and turn everything else off and then turn on the banana leaf, just the banana leaf this time. I'm going to do the same thing, copy canvas, back to my gallery page. I'll go back to the storybook watercolor texture, and then I'll paste the canvas. So my layers did get, the order got screwed up. So what I'm going to do is just move this banana leaf behind, just as it was in the other illustration. And now from this point, I can just continue on my illustration as I was, just in this different paper texture. Now obviously for each illustration that you're working on, you're going to have to make different decisions regarding, you know, what layers you're willing to compress together. And if you can't sacrifice anything, you're just going to have to do that process for each individual layer and just turn everything off except, you know, this, and then turn everything off except this, and just do them one by one. I just combine them just to save time and make the process a little bit faster. And as a final step, you might forget to go back and return the other paper texture to its normal state. So to do that, I'm going to go back to it here, St. Petersburg texture, and I'm just going to go to my layers panel and just turn everything back on, especially the background and especially the paper texture. And now it's back to normal, and all my layers are still preserved over here. But if I go to the storybook, I have the transferred result with the flattened layers. So let me know if this makes sense. I know this process might seem a little confusing, but if you just do it once or twice, it's actually surprisingly intuitive. But let me know if you have any questions or comments about this down below. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.